We are gathered here to celebrate this beautiful art and our dear artist, Keowen Odyogi. You see the beautiful art that's adorning the doors of Blair Square Pavilion and all the beautiful hanging elements from the rafters, all created by Keowen. Nice. There's also 2 electric boxes down at Washington Street in the heart of Holliston downtown that Keowen has designed as well. And all these 3 murals, they sort of speak to each other. And they are examples of what creative placemaking can achieve. Our project, MAPC Regional Trails Creative Placemaking Strategy, which we began with the town of Holliston a little over a year ago. The goals of those projects were to use public art, creative placemaking, and activation to connect the rail trail and the downtown area. And I think we've achieved that. So kudos to Keowen. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize some key individuals and partners who made this project possible. The mural has been a true collaboration with so many people working behind the scenes. We're grateful to the town of Holliston, especially the support of the select board and town leadership. Please, let's give a round of applause to Tina Hine, select board chair, Travis Ahern, town administrator, assistant town administrator Kathleen Buckley, economic development coordinator Melanie Hamblin. I don't see Melanie. Oh, there she is. Okay. And last but not least, facilities director James Keast. Is James here? A special thank you to all the art selection committee members and project advisory group members who carefully reviewed over 20 applications that we received for this call for artists and selected our artist Keowen Odyogi's proposal for the murals. We also have with us Pooja Pal and Steve Durning from the Holliston Cultural Council, as well as Robert Weidnecht from Holliston Rail Trails. And I think Travis Polak, who's a senior transportation planner and the sub-regional coordinator for the Metro West area, will be joining us soon. So we'll keep an eye out for him as well. A very special shout out and thank you to Ed Daniels from Vesta Realty for sponsoring Kona Ice. Well, Kona Ice is giving away 100 free cups of shaved ice, so please grab a treat before you head home. And finally, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to my team members, Anna Sen Gupta, MAPC Director of Arts and Culture, and Lindsay Randall, Senior Regional Humanities Specialist. Their expertise and support for this project has truly been special. So I couldn't have done any of the facilitation for this project without them. I'll stop here and I'll hand it over to Anis to say a few quick words. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana, and I'll make this brief. Anna Sen Gupta, Director of Arts and Culture at the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. We are one of a very few regional planning agencies that has an arts and culture practice, and it's been really exciting to see what happens when you bring arts and culture into planning, and very excited for this project, which was the brainchild of Archana, who came on as a fellow, not with the planning background, but she looked around what was happening in MAPC and realized that the trails work that we were doing and the arts and culture work really needed to come together, and created a larger strategy to understand that this trails network goes through many communities, and those communities, it goes by many commercial areas and places that things are happening, but it's very hard to build those connections without some attention put toward it. So this project is really demonstrating in Holliston what that possibility is, with the goal of bringing this kind of activity out across the entire region to help activate our trails network and build stronger connections between the trails and the downtown areas. And just so grateful to everyone here for kind of taking a leap of faith to be part of this project with us, and really excited for what it's produced. And thank you, Archana, and thank you everybody who is here today.
Thank you, Anis. I'd like to welcome Tina Hine, Chair of Holliston Select Board, to say a few words about this project. Thank you.
Welcome, and thank you for coming out to Blair Square to celebrate Holliston's first public art unveiling. The journey to this point began over 18 months ago with a phone call and an idea. An intrepid arts and culture fellow from the MAPC and a Holliston resident, Archana Menon, pitched her plan to use temporary public art to connect Holliston's downtown area to the rail trail and strengthen both a sense of community and belonging, as well as promote interest and curiosity in our downtown. During that phone call, those on the call listened to Archana's vision, but we were skeptical. Would Holliston embrace public art with the same enthusiasm shared by Archana? Could public art really do all that Archana suggested? Looking around me today, I would say her vision is a beautiful reality. Kay and O'Doherty came to Holliston to create their joyful, playful public art for all to enjoy, and Archana's efforts came to be. I am glad that Holliston took the leap of faith to join in this project. I would like to thank Archana and her team at MAPC, Lindsay and Anis, for their dedication and detailed approach to this project. Holliston is grateful to have a strong regional partnership with the MAPC. The past 18 months included efforts and progress in other areas of community life here in Holliston. The very space we stand in here today, Blair Square and the pavilion behind me, has undergone a transformation resulting in a stunning public park that is grounded in our history while also looking out to our future. The path you take to explore KON's other two installations downtown travels along newly built sidewalks and crosswalks, past many 100-year-old plus buildings that are preserved for their original uses as well as modern uses. I would like to thank our partners at the State House, Senate President Karen Spilka, her representative today, Dennis Diambetti, and Representative James Arena DeRosa, for their constant support to improve Holliston public spaces, the rail trail, and our efforts to promote economic activity. My greatest appreciation, however, is for the artist, Keowen O'Doherty, who demonstrated beyond a doubt that Holliston has a story to tell about its history and the future we aspire to. Through their art, Keowen celebrates Holliston's historical buildings and gives visitors an opportunity to consider our future while exploring the connection between the rail trail and downtown. I would like to end by emphasizing Holliston's appreciation of our local art community and our commitment to strengthening the creation, celebration, and display of art in our community. Before you leave today, I encourage you to walk down the rail trail to the Water Street Mill buildings behind us here on my left to enjoy the outdoor farmers market with as many local artists, small businesses, and farms offering their work, produce, and creations to the public. And overall, I want to welcome you and thank you for being here. Let's enjoy this afternoon and let's unveil this beautiful artwork.
Thank you, Tina. We are honored to have Senate Representative James Arena DeRosa with us today, and I'd love if you could come up and say a few words as well. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
I want to usurp my good friend Karen Spilka. I am the state representative for Holliston. We're going to be hearing from the Senate office in a few minutes, and I think he has some citations. I'll join him for the pictures. But, you know, first of all, congratulations to the town of Holliston, to the Arts Council, to MAPC, to the artist for this first unveiling. It's just a wonderful opportunity. As someone who's been here for over 30 years that remembers what was here, Steve and I were talking ahead of time, remembering when there were trains. I always think of Robert and some of those early meetings that he organized in living rooms across Holliston to get the rail trail built. What an amazing transformation of this space that is continuing with this work. You know, the arts are just such an important part of culture. It's such an important part of who we are as people. It does bring people together. I'm looking forward to many more events like this as we can continue to support the arts here in Holliston. Please let me know what I can do to be supportive as time goes on. We have lots of opportunities as the trail expands, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that all works out in the years ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James. And now please join me in welcoming Travis Ahern, Holliston's town administrator, who along with his team has been instrumental in facilitating this project with MAPC. Thank you.
Thank you, Arch, and I'll be quick. I think Tina Hine mentioned a number of the things that we're trying to do, which is tying these spaces together. We were out here a few weeks ago with the Senate President's Office and Rep. Marina DeRosa on a Trails grant with Robert Wideneck. So this space is being realized as it was intended, which is phenomenal. And we are trying to connect the downtown as well to all of the people who pass through this area. As was mentioned earlier, I just want to really highlight the staff who's worked with the volunteers and MAPC to make this a reality. So specifically, and these were mentioned, but I just want to highlight them a little bit more. Melanie Hamlin is our Economic Development Coordinator, who's embraced the vision of bringing new and repeat customers to our local businesses through the potential of community events, and the rail trail is where we are right now. James Keese is our Facilities Director, is always willing to step in and lend a hand, and has been phenomenal in helping this group realize where we are today. Rob Walker, the Deputy DPW Director, was out here making sure everything was set up, which we very much appreciate always. And Sue Stone, who I don't think was mentioned earlier, the high school career counselor, has connected us with some of the performers we'll see here today, and is always willing to bring in the schools into these events, which is so important to bring the town and schools together. And then just to sort of highlight all of those moving parts, the quarterback of all of this from the beginning with all of the MAPC volunteers and staff has been Kathleen Buckley, who has done a phenomenal job in making this all happen today. So I want to recognize them all. And then I believe Archana mentioned it earlier as well, but Ed Daniels for the food truck, the Raffi family for some of the arts and crafts. Really a lot of people contributed to this today, and we're so happy to see everybody out here. And where we're going in the future, and how arts can bring all of those things together. So thank you all.
Thank you, Travis. I wanted to have a few people come up and talk about their experience being part of this project as project advisors, or they participated as selection committee members. So first up is Mary Greendale. I'd love for you to kind of talk a little bit about your experience being part of the selection committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana. I have been on a lot of committees, and finally I got on one that was fun. There's no fighting, no debating, it was wonderful, and we had a good time, and we got to look at wonderful art designs, and ultimately we came up with something that is for everybody to behold and to fall in love with. I'm so glad we picked something whimsical, because I think that's really what everybody needs right about now. The world is heavy. But as far as what has happened here is MAPC started a process. They taught us how to initiate that process. They taught us what it will take for us as a community to do more of this in the years ahead. So I'm hoping that no one is standing here thinking that, oh well, once and done, because that wasn't the point. The point was, let's start this. Let's show what we can do. Let's pull it all together. And then, as we move forward, let's get to that high school. We have a great art program at the high school. Doug Lack is one of the best people to work with in terms of highlighting and showcasing students. As Tina mentioned, we have down the street the artists, I can't call it a commune, what do I call it? Artist building. Studios, there we go, studios.
The artist mill.
Mill, thank you all. Where were you before I said that? Anyway, all of them down there would just love to be participating in this and being a part of all of that's going on. So that we have the resources, we have the inspiration right here, and the rest is going to be up to us now that MAPC gave us a boost and a leg up. So thank you so much, so very much, for all of your commitment to us. Thanks, folks.
Thank you, Mary. Next up, I'd love if Pooja Pal could come up and share her experience. Pooja is part of the Holliston Cultural Council, and I think I see Steve Durning here as well, who's the chair of the Cultural Council. So, please.
Hi everyone. As Archana mentioned, I'm part of the Cultural Council, and I'm just excited I get to be part of this project from MAPC right from the start, like how we bring the community together and like Mary mentioned, James mentioned, this is not the end, right? This is a start, and this is where I think as part of the Cultural Council, we want to see how far we take it, right? This is just a beginning in the community. One thing I do want to mention is when we were reviewing all the, recommendations and everything, and when we chose Cohen as our artist, we had some feedback, and they were really open to accepting our opinions and adjustments they made. So I'd really, really appreciate, to take that feedback in and make sure, to show that we are all about inclusion in this town. So I really, really appreciate you taking all that feedback in and making those adjustments. And just again, thanks so much for MAPC for getting this started in the town. And, let's see how far we can take it, Steve. So with that, Steve, this is your cue.
Thank you. I am Steve Durning. I'm the chairperson of the Holliston Cultural Council, and I had the pleasure of taking part in some of the committee work. I mean, these guys did all the work, don't get the wrong idea. But I did get to be part of the assessment of the different projects. And I want to just say that the main time for assessing, there was a presentation that Archana and her team put together. And it was a lot of work that went into that so that we could get this thing done in an afternoon. And at that, it was still a lot of work, but the organization, her people skills in leading, in herding the cats throughout this whole process, because I did go to some other meetings too, it was really notable. So Archana, please keep doing things, if you can. And thank you. I also I have to mention that that Melanie Hamblin, our Economic Development Coordinator, she has been an inspiration through her energy and her imagination, and I hope she stays with us for a while. And now I'm just going to say a little cultural council business. Maybe it's our fault. Not too many people know much about what the Cultural Council does, but the state gives money pretty much to every town in Massachusetts, and I think this program is national, it's all over the country. And it says to the town, have your volunteers decide who should get this money for artistic and cultural projects. And it's not a lot of money, but it's enough to do something. And what I'm trying to here say is, if you have an idea, if you have the energy, you can do it. You have to apply. It's not hard to apply. No professional grant writing experience necessary. I'll be hanging around after this formal part if you want to talk, get my email. But even beyond that, because I'm connected to the Massachusetts Cultural Council, I'm aware of all the opportunities for community growth, economic growth, and artistic and cultural growth that theoretically are very much available to us. Really, the limitation is volunteer energy and time. And I know no one has unlimited those things. I certainly do not. But if you have a dream, come talk. Let's see where it can go.
I really want to thank Archana for having such a great project that resulted in such a wonderful way of connecting the town to the trail itself. And for those of you who don't know, I've been with the Trails Committee trying to make this trail a reality over the years. And so I also have to thank MAPC entirely because they've been helping us for so many years. Back in 1998, they actually did the feasibility study. 1998 now. They did the feasibility study to determine whether the trail was in fact feasible. And all that's happened since then in terms of the Blair Square and then the artwork that we've so nicely just recently had. But it's all part of the MAPC has done other planning studies, economic development, and it's all part of trying to make connections between trails and downtown area. My wife and I are both trail tourists. We just spent a lot of time this year going to different trails throughout Europe and also through Ohio and the Erie Canal and all that. So we do these trail tourism things, and we like to be able to sample the culture, the music, the artwork, and be able to get around to all these different locations. And so, like I say, this artwork helps to make that connection from the trail to the culture of Holliston, and it depicts, I like how it depicts all the historic buildings as well, and our historic character that we have in the town is so wonderful to have, and it's nicely captured, and I hope that all we do make that connection and bring some of the tourists from the trail to the downtown and help support economic development in the town. Thank you, Archie.
It's my pleasure to introduce you. KON is a part of the Good Boy Collective, and as you can see, has captured the essence of Holliston in such a unique and imaginative way. I'd love to have KON share his experience about working with the community here in Holliston, a little bit about his process, and also the inspiration for the designs that you've come up with. KON.
So one thing that I really wanted to start off with is, before I started this project and designing everything, I came and I visited Holliston to really kind of gather inspiration and think about what is it that's special about this community that I really wanted to highlight. And I think honestly, there's no better way to highlight it than just this experience here, right? The amount of love and care that everyone has for this community is so palpable. Even before I even talked to anyone and I was walking through, the weight of the history is very obvious, but I think what comes through in that is the attention to detail and the care that Holliston has felt throughout the years, right? You're looking at architecture that has so much care and detail, and you get that in the light fixtures, but also with the fresh flowers that were there the first day I was here. And that was really what I wanted to impart in the design that I made. So in that, we talk about the past, the present, and the future in the 3 locations. Here, I really wanted to emphasize the weight of that history and connecting it to the rail trail, stepping through that history, and then encouraging people to step further into Holliston. Then I think of this as the past and then the present, really thinking about who is here now and how you are building community currently, right? And who is participating in that. Moving on to the future, right? Inviting people to consider what does Holliston look like in the future, and what are we building what are you building towards? So that was really the inspiration, and I think the portal is something that I've kind of used to help emphasize that. Then while I was working on it, just my experience was just so lovely. It's been so lovely in the 2 months that I've been working here to really engage with everyone, right? While I was working, just every single day having people come up and engage in interesting and thoughtful conversations, and just, I don't know, just being thanked as I'm working is so powerful to experience. And it was easy for me to see the impact that was having. It was so sweet. But then also in other ways, right, going to the farmers market and various events while I was here, again, just really enforced this care and love that everyone had for the community and the welcomeness that I felt while I was here. And I just really want to say that it was just such an honor to be able to be part of this, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you, KON. Your art really speaks to the heart of this community. Now we have a special recognition for KON and for the town of Holliston. On behalf of Senate President Karen E. Spilka, a citation is being presented to both KON and the town of Holliston, Holliston's leadership, to honor their contributions. Please join me in welcoming Dennis Giambetti from Senate President Spilka's office. Thank you.
I want my speakers so I can walk the trail a little bit later. First, I want to send, Senate President wanted me to send her regrets for not being able to attend today's ceremony. We were chatting a little bit earlier today, and we were talking about the event this afternoon, and she mentioned how this park, this venue, is such a beautiful, beautiful attribute for Holliston. And she was was saying how, not only is it a great attribute for Holliston, but also one of her favorite places in the district. And it's just beautiful. And having an addition of an artwork is going to be just the pinnacle of what an addition to it. I do have a couple of citations. As was mentioned, this is such a special event. I brought 2 citations, not just one. One is for the artist, the other one is mentioned for the town of Holliston, because there's been so many people involved, not only in Blair Square, but in this artwork that was done. And you saw a lot of the speakers here today, but there are a lot more people that were involved, deeply involved, in making this a reality. I think it's the heart of Holliston, the love of Holliston, that kind of permeates this event and the Blair Square itself. So I do have a citation I'll read, and I'll then have Representative read the other citation.
I don't have my glasses, but I'll try.
This one here is from the State Senate official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Keowen Odirgi in recognition of the joyous occasion of the unveiling of your mural, celebrating the rich history and dynamic future of the town of Holliston. And be it therefore known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. It's signed by your state Senator Karen Spilka, the Clerk of the Senate, also the Senate President Karen Spilka, on this date, September 24, 2024.
And we have the honor to come up with a quick shot. Oh, thank you.
You guys want to go in front of the
We're going to
mural?
do 2. Well, we're going to do the first. We're going to do the 3, and then
Okay,
we're going to do
all right.
the group citation, and then a big group shot.
Have a good backdrop there.
Public art, everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Public art!
Did someone get us all looking at the same camera? All right, now I'll read this one. All right, and thank you, Dennis, for including me, and thank you, Tina, for grabbing my glasses. This is a group recognition for the entire town, and so I think anybody who participated should come up for the group shot. But be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted to the Clerk of the Senate. It is in recognition for the town of Holliston for the grand unveiling of the Blair Square mural that connects Holliston's downtown to the rail trail and celebrates the town's rich history and dynamic future. Congratulations to the town of Holliston.
I absolutely need Kathleen, please, and Melanie to come join me. Okay.
Yeah, let's go over here though, so we're not tripping over the. All right, this works. Does that work? You want your cultural council and those people too? We should get a big group one in front of the mural later. Yeah.
Hey,
Artists.
Hey, get over here.
Yeah.
Travis, get in the photo.
Get that wide lens.
All right, except can we do one at a time so we're not all looking 5 minutes? Start over there.
There we go.
Okay.
Now the middle. Now the end.
3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
Till the land was forsaken, and they wrote it all down as progress. And Daddy wants to take me back to Muhlenberg, down by the Green River where paradise. So I'm originally from Ogden, Utah. I moved out here to study engineering, and then while I was studying engineering, just constantly found that I was taking any excuse I could to study art and work on art. So I transferred and I got my degree from Mass Art, but I still use that engineering because I'm a math teacher. That's my day job. And then besides that, I just kind of look for all the opportunities I can take to not only do art, but do art that is like community forward. So for this, I came and I visited Holliston first and really was looking for like inspiration while I was here. Really thinking a lot about just like the weight of history here, just like the age of the architecture, but obviously the like love and care that's put into the city. In a lot of the architecture, there's a lot of detail and a lot of care, and that mirrored with like the fresh flowers that are out during the summer. So that was kind of the inspiration, was like this care and history. So in the design, we're going from the past, present, and future. This design here is using like the buildings and architecture to be very obvious about that history connection and walking through that history with the rail trail. And then the next design is the present, where we're thinking about who are the community members now, and kind of trying to represent like community and who's working on building community currently. And then for the last box, it's thinking about stepping into the future and what does Holliston look like in the future, and what are we building towards? It's been such an honor. For me personally, I think the engagement with community, both in the process and collaboration of making the artwork, in designing it, but then also with just like while I was working on it, being able to engage with people walking by and having conversations, and then being invited into community spaces while I was here, like the farmers market and the various events around here, has just been so sweet and meaningful, and I really feel like I've been welcomed into this space while I've been here. And I am very excited to be able to come back and visit Holliston and feel still connected to it as time goes on. The Peabody's cold, the train is home.